Thank you so much. New tonight at 9, an 86-year-old man is dead following a crash in Platteville that happened on Monday. Officials say Eugene Schreifer was driving with two passengers on a county road A when he failed to slow at an intersection and crashed into an embankment. The SUV then went several hundred feet into a cornfield before stopping. First responders took Schreifer to the hospital where he later died. The other two passengers were not badly hurt. Everyone was wearing a seatbelt at the time.